Hello and welcome to this episode of Hospitality Talks, where I am over the moon to be joined by Jason Perfect, COO of Butcombe Group. Jason, welcome. And would you like to just tell anyone that's watching, listening out there who Butcombe Group are and who you are specifically as well?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Katie. Thank you very much for inviting me onto the podcast. Fantastic to be here. Butcombe Group, who are we? So we're a fully integrated brewing and drinks business with over 120 pubs across the UK and Channel Islands. And we brew beer as well, some amazing award-winning beer, which is great and quite exciting too.
Excellent. I'm a big fan of Butcombe Group pubs. We've obviously done some work with you recently, which is one of the things that I wanted to talk about on this particular session. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to do some research, because I think that there are a lot of operators out there that kind of think, yeah, we'd like to do something, we'd like to understand our customers more and our non-customers.
Sure.
Why was this the right time for you?
Look, we're immensely proud of our business, as you can imagine. We've built up a business that had no bedrooms to a 400-bedroom sort of business. We've built up Butcombe Boutique Inns, which is one of our sort of leading premium food brands that we've got now over the UK in terms of inns and pubs themselves. And we've got a great brewery, some fantastic investments. We've acquired quite a bit over the years as well. And we've built what we think is a truly fantastic and beautiful business. However, I'm not naive to the fact, and neither are we as a business, that you need to ask your customers that what's in your head and what you think you're doing is actually translating into their experience. And that was the most important part for me. We put a lot of work into our training, development of our teams through an amazing learning development team within our business. And we have an awesome loyalty program as well that we roll out through our business. Again, though, I wanted to actually test from our customers whether they were receiving what we thought we were giving. So it was one of the key things we wanted to do was look at that. We equally wanted to look at more drinks opportunities within our business. That was one of the objectives out of it. So drinks, whether our loyalty program was working and understood, how we could drive dwell time and more frequency into our businesses was quite key as well. And whether our offer, which we think is fantastic, both drinks and food, was actually working, or was this a bit of a sycophantic, Jason Perfect thinks it's great, so it's okay, sort of moment. So a bit of realism was really what I was looking for, and Cam gave us, which is great.
And what, because I actually ran the focus group myself,
Yeah.
because I like to get as involved and as much knowledge about our clients as possible. What what surprised me was, well, not surprised me, but what I found was that there was a real great love for the Butcombe brand and for the
Mhm.
pubs. And it was very much, a lot of the commentary that came along was, we absolutely love the pubs. We love the teams, got some absolutely fantastic feedback. I mean, the team
Yeah.
feedback was some of the best I've ever heard in a focus group. What
Brilliant.
did you learn from the research, the sort of summary that myself and Blake delivered to you? What were those sort of standout moments for you?
I think the fact that we're not doing anything wrong was quite important. However, we had some learnings and some evolution to do within our business, and it could have come down to our drinks offer overall. We again think we have a great drinks offer, but there was definitely something to do with more no and low and moderation of drinks offer and opportunity within our business that we wanted to explore. And I'll sort of finalize that one by, you would have seen possibly my post earlier this week on LinkedIn, which shows that we went from having 1 beer while we were
Mm,
having this discussion, by the way, and we now have 5 no and low variants within our business. And that's
brilliant.
really thanks to your research that came out and said to us, look, your customers want a bit more. Not only do they want more, they want variation outside of yourself. So
Yeah.
we went and did some collaborations with some other companies, one in particular called Shandy Shack, which we've come up with a fantastic ginger beer shandy. And we also worked them on an Ashton Press low alcohol raspberry cider, which you've come out with. But a
Brilliant.
great 3.4% IPA as well, and West Coast IPA, which is by far becoming my favorite beer that we do at the
Brilliant.
moment, which is good. So there was that. There was a variety of drinks offer as well, Katie, in terms of further cocktails, better wine menus, giving more reasons to visit us for a drinks occasion rather
Yeah.
than a food occasions, which, to your point earlier, we're very, very popular for our food, right? We have an award-winning food offer. Customers feel very confident in our food. They choose us for their food. And
Yeah.
one of the key objectives from this was drinks. So it was the evolution of our drinks menu in particular that we found quite important,
Mm.
that you came out with, and we've acted on and reacted on quite quickly.
And you do have an amazing food offer. I've eaten in Butcombe pubs on several occasions.
Thank you.
Have you sort of has that evolved, that food offer, or have you always been known for great food?
Look, I think when we first took over the business 9 years ago, it was very much a traditional pub business, and one of the key objectives with Alice, who's our director of food and drink, well, she was an executive chef then. Now her evolution through the years of working with us has got her to director of food and drinks, and that just shows the success that she had over those years. But was very much we want to do great pub food, but we want to elevate it. We want to be the best. If you're having a burger, it must be the best
Mhm.
burger you've ever had. Fish and chips, the best fish and chips you ever had. It was never about being our sort of phrase in the business, a swish on a plate. It was never about that.
Yeah.
It was very much about how do we have wholesome, fresh food cooked in pubs by great chefs who want to sort of explore their inner workings on what they think great food is on a plate, while using local produce was really important to us as well, and supporting local farmers and veg farmers, as you can imagine, as much as we possibly could too. So that was our food offer evolution. However, we've taken that a step further with sort of small plates,
Hmm.
to give value for money for customers as well, so they can build really their own meal experience. So they can have
Yeah.
a couple of small plates if they want. They can have some bar snacks. We've sort of evolutionized our new menus again since some of the feedback we received from your team, actually. I will continue to do that. We've got some plans in the future, which I'm not going to tell you about now, but I'll show you in a couple of months' time.
Oh, that's exciting. And we spoke earlier about your teams. Why do you think the teams get such fantastic feedback? Why do you think that your team members are so respected and liked, and trusted? Actually, that was another sort of phrase that came out from the research, was that I can trust the teams to recommend things to me. What do you do that's different at Butcombe Group to make that such fantastic feedback?
It's a lovely thing to say, by the way, and it was great feedback from customers too. And we do a lot of things. One of our key values is from the heart,
Right.
and we absolutely live from the heart. So everything we do, from senior management all the way through to our teams, has to be genuine. Has
Mhm.
to be genuine. We almost have a no lying policy, if that makes sense. So
Yes.
you have to tell the truth.
Yeah.
We also try and communicate quite highly with our teams. We have an internal communication platform. We have weekly newsletters. We pass down as much vital information to our teams as possible, because I truly believe that if you have a team that's knowledgeable, they're confident, and if they're confident, they can sell.
Yeah.
And it becomes easy. It just
Yeah.
becomes natural. But we also employ great people, and I'm very privileged to have some amazing people within our teams across the businesses.
Yeah, fantastic. My next flight booking is going to be to come out to the Channel Islands as well, to have a
Excellent.
look at some of the venues out there. So what's
Yeah.
next? What's next for Buckham Group? There's a glint in your eye, so there's something you can't tell me, but what can you share with me? What are you going to be focusing on in the next sort of year or so?
Yeah, look, we just launched our Buckham Boutique Inns, which we're very proud of. It's an elevated inns offer within the UK pub market, I would say, and we have 12 of them at the moment. We have plans to get to 20, but we'll have probably 13, 14 by the end of this financial year or calendar year
Mhm.
within the business. They've proven to be highly successful. Really great with direct bookings. Food sales overall within those businesses have grown. Our customer feedback's been fantastic from them as well. So we'll keep doing that. We're going to focus a lot on seasonality, which we've already done on food, and that's why we've been, again, so successful. But with Alice's role change, which again developed through a bit of your research really on what we needed to do, um, we've moved more seasonally into drinks offers within the business too. So we've seen that evolution change. We're looking at the way that we operate our businesses in terms of setup.
Mhm.
One of the not criticisms, but feedback elements that we got from some of the customers was that we come into your businesses and we're not sure whether it's dining or whether it's drinking,
Right.
and we wanted to change that perception as much as possible. So we spend a lot of time on looking at on how we're setting up our businesses for success, I suppose, throughout the day and different day parts too. And we focused heavily on mornings as well.
Mhm.
We wanted to launch brunch within our sites. We've done that through the entire estate now, which has been fantastic, and that's gone really well. And then finally, our app, which we've always had an app, but we've really elevated our pay and go app and our app at table and service to table elements at the moment to help our teams, help with volume, and really up that customer experience. and give a bit more time to our team, by the way, to actually interact with our customers a bit more,
Yeah,
which has
that's
been it's been amazing, and we've seen real benefit from that over the last few months.
I think for me, I have this phrase that I quite often say, which is "tech for tech's sake" is pointless. The whole point of introducing technology, whether it's front of house, back of house, whatever it is, it should allow for the team to then have more time to do the hospitality bit, which is
Absolutely,
what we're all here for, and it's
yeah.
what the UK. What UK pubs are known for, it's that sort of that welcome, the service, the knowledge, the understanding, all of that. So I think I'm seeing a lot more of that now. I think that the pandemic very much threw pubs into a space where they had to introduce technology, whether that was QR codes or pay and go, etc. And I think that it was at the first, it was just let's get it in so that we can actually
Yeah.
service customers and we can actually have people coming through the doors. And now it seems to me like a lot of pub companies are sort of refining that technology and working out how it can add to the experience for the customer.
I couldn't agree more, to be fair. And that's exactly the way we've looked at it. It's a deployment tool that supports our teams, but it actually allows us to deliver true hospitality, which is one of our key strap lines when we talk to our team. So, yeah, very exciting.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thank you so much. I will not take any more of your time, but
No
I
problem at all.
will see you very soon. And I will also get booked up to come and visit a couple of the boutique inns.
Yeah, great. That and Jersey. We'd love to show you around.